There's a hidden power within you that women sense before you even open your mouth. A magnetic, primal, deeply attractive energy that emanates from men who've discovered the most closely guarded secret of masculinity. Have you ever wondered why some men carry a presence that's almost palpable, a magnetism that attracts attention, respect, and desire with seemingly effortless ease? Why certain individuals seem to radiate unshakable confidence and inner strength that transcends words and gestures? The answer lies in something our society has taught us to squander, to treat as a trivial impulse, as a physiological need without a higher purpose. Today you'll discover that your sexual energy isn't just an appetite to be satisfied, but the very essence of your creative power, the primordial source of your life force, the fuel that can transform you from an ordinary man into a force of nature. Napoleon Hill, the master of prosperity and success, revealed decades ago that the most successful men, the most charismatic leaders, the most prolific geniuses shared a secret: they had learned to transmute their sexual energy into extraordinary achievements. But our modern society has conditioned us to believe a devastating lie. We've been taught that sexual desire is merely a primitive biological urge, to be quickly satisfied, consumed unceremoniously, discarded like organic waste. The entertainment industry, rampant pornography, the culture of instant gratification have turned us into slaves to our own impulses, fragmented men living in vicious cycles of arousal and release, tension and relief, power and weakness. Have you noticed how you feel after compulsive masturbation? There's a lethargy that settles over your body, a mental fog that clouds your clarity, a subtle but noticeable decrease in your vital energy. Your posture changes, your eyes lose their sparkle, your voice loses its natural authority. It's as if an essential part of you is drained, leaving only a diminished version of the man you could be. Women sense this. They perceive when a man is leaking his life force, when he's dissipating his energy in empty pleasures and unconscious compulsions. But there's another path, an inner alchemy that few men discover and even fewer dare to tread. Semen retention isn't puritanical abstinence or sexual repression. It's the ancient art of transmutation, the process by which the inner warrior learns to channel the most primal fire towards the highest achievements. When you stop squandering your vital essence, something extraordinary begins to happen. Your energy builds, concentrates, transforms into pure magnetism. Imagine your sexual energy as a powerful river. Most men build small dams that constantly break, letting the water flow without direction, losing itself in barren lands. But the man who practices conscious retention learns to channel this river, to direct it to irrigate the gardens of his creativity, his ambition, his magnetic presence. He doesn't repress the river, he masters it, guides it, transforms it into a driving force for his boldest dreams. The ancients knew this secret. Greek philosophers spoke of vital energy as pneuma, the divine breath that animates all things. Chinese Taoists developed entire practices around the conservation of jing, the sexual essence that, when preserved, transforms into spiritual vitality. The yogis of India discovered that brahmacharya, the conservation of sexual energy, was the most direct path to the awakening of higher consciousness. All these traditions recognized a fundamental truth: the man who masters his sexual energy masters his own existence. Napoleon Hill observed that the most successful men rarely wasted their sexual energy compulsively. They had learned, consciously or unconsciously, to redirect this primal force towards their endeavors, their creations, their accomplishments. The energy that other men dissipated in momentary pleasures, they concentrated on lasting purposes. It was as if they had discovered a source of premium fuel, while others burned damp wood. When you embrace the practice of conscious retention, your physical body transforms first. There's a natural increase in testosterone levels, but it's not just that. Your posture naturally straightens, your movements gain fluidity and purpose, your voice deepens and gains authority. There's a physical presence that emanates from men who don't squander their essence, a solidity, an energetic density that others instinctively perceive. Women sense this as a magnetic field, an attraction that transcends appearance or social status. But the most profound transformation happens in your mind. The mental fog dissipates, revealing a clarity of thought you may never have experienced. Your ability to concentrate multiplies, your projects gain laser focus, your decisions become more assertive and precise. It's as if a veil has been lifted from your eyes, allowing you to see opportunities that previously went unnoticed, connections that previously remained invisible. Retained sexual energy transforms into explosive creativity. Artists, writers, entrepreneurs, and innovators who practice retention report bursts of inspiration that seem to come from an inexhaustible source. The same force that creates physical life, when consciously redirected, creates intellectual, artistic, and entrepreneurial life. You become a channel for ideas that transcend your common experience, solutions that emerge from a deeper place than rational thought. And then there's the spiritual dimension, the most mysterious and powerful of all. When you stop leaking your vital energy through compulsive orgasms, something awakens within you. Mystics called this Kundalini, the fiery serpent that sleeps at the base of the spine and, when awakened, illuminates all centers of consciousness. You may not believe in esoteric terminology, but you can't deny the feeling of power that grows within you when you master your most primitive impulses. Women sense this awakening viscerally. There's a palpable difference between the energy of a man who compulsively masturbates and that of a man who cultivates and conserves his life force. The former is scattered, anxious, needy, constantly seeking external validation, approval, fulfillment. The latter is centered, magnetic, self-sufficient, radiating a confidence that needs no proof or demonstration. But here's the paradox our culture doesn't understand. The man who practices retention doesn't become repressed or asexual. On the contrary, he becomes more intensely masculine, more deeply connected to his sexual nature, more powerfully attractive. The difference is that his sexuality is no longer reactive and compulsive, it becomes creative and intentional. He doesn't move with desire, he moves desires. And if you're wondering how to begin this transformative journey, how to awaken this power slumbering within you, let me share something important. This isn't a journey you should take alone. There are nuances, techniques, deep understandings that can accelerate your progress and avoid common pitfalls. If you truly want to master this ancient art of sexual transmutation, if you desire to awaken the magnetic warrior within you, you need access to the right teachings, the proven practices, the wisdom of those who have already walked this path. So if this content is resonating with something deep inside you, if you feel you finally found the key to unlocking your true masculine potential, do something right now that will change your trajectory. Click the subscribe button and turn on notifications, because what you're discovering today is just the tip of the iceberg. There are specific practices, advanced techniques, psychological and spiritual understandings that can accelerate your transformation extraordinarily. And I want you to have access to all these teachings, to have your journey guided by wisdom, not trial and error. Subscribe now, because the upcoming videos will reveal the secrets that can literally rebuild your masculine identity, your magnetic presence, your power of attraction. Don't let this opportunity pass. Your more powerful and fulfilled future self is waiting for you. The journey of retention isn't just about conserving semen, it's about reclaiming your masculine sovereignty. We live in an age where men have been systematically emasculated, conditioned to doubt their natural strength, to apologize for their intensity, to suppress their impulses of leadership and healthy dominance. Compulsive masturbation is both a symptom and a cause of this psychological castration. Every time you give in to immediate impulse, you train your mind to be weak, to choose easy pleasure over difficult purpose. But when you embrace the discipline of retention, you're making a silent but powerful statement. I am not a slave to my impulses. I am the master of my energy. I choose how and when to use my life force. This declaration resonates throughout your being, recalibrating your self-image, repositioning you as the protagonist of your own story, instead of a victim of your compulsions. Transformations begin subtly, but intensify over time. In the first few days, you may experience what practitioners call an adjustment period, a feeling of accumulated energy, a creative restlessness, and increased emotional intensity. Your body, accustomed to regular releases, needs to learn to recalibrate its hormonal and energetic systems. But as you persist, this raw energy refines, transforming into something subtler and more powerful. Your voice changes, not just in tone, though many men report a natural deepening, but in quality, presence, authority. When you speak, people listen more attentively, your words carry weight, your opinions gain respect, your suggestions are taken more seriously. It's as if your voice becomes a more finely tuned instrument, capable of transmitting not just information, but energy, intention, power. Your gaze transforms. The eyes, they say, are the windows to the soul, and when you stop leaking your vital energy, something profound changes in your gaze. There's a serene intensity, a focused presence that people feel when you look at them. You no longer need to avert your gaze out of insecurity or anxiety. Your gaze becomes magnetic, not aggressive, but deeply present and aware. Your work capacity multiplies. Projects that once seemed overwhelming become exciting challenges. Your mental stamina increases dramatically. You can concentrate for much longer periods, delve deeply into complex problems, maintain focus on long-term goals. It's as if your mind has received a hardware upgrade, processing information faster and with greater clarity. But perhaps the most powerful transformation occurs in your relationship with women. When you're not constantly draining your sexual energy through masturbation, you relate to women from a place of abundance, not need. You appreciate femininity without being controlled by it. You feel attraction without being enslaved by it. You express interest without being desperate for approval. Women feel this difference viscerally. There's something about a man who conserves his sexual energy that they recognize on an instinctive level, a primal force, a genuine masculinity that has become rare in the modern world. They can't necessarily articulate what's different, but they sense they are in the presence of a man who possesses something others have lost, self-mastery. And herein lies one of the deepest secrets of attraction. Women are drawn not just to masculine strength, but to masculine discipline. They want a man who has control over himself, because this suggests he can protect them, lead the relationship, make tough decisions when necessary. A man who is a slave to his own impulses cannot offer the emotional security a woman instinctively seeks. Semen retention, therefore, isn't just a practice of self-improvement, it's a declaration of emotional and sexual independence. You're telling the universe that your energy is too precious to be wasted on empty pleasures, that your power is too focused to be dissipated on random impulses. But beware of extremism. True mastery doesn't come from rigid repression, but from conscious choice. There are times when sexual release is appropriate and even beneficial, with a beloved partner, in contexts of genuine intimacy, when it serves a purpose greater than selfish pleasure. The key is discernment. Are you using? Ancient masters understood this distinction. They didn't preach absolute celibacy, but conscious control. They knew that sexual energy, when accumulated and then released with intention and love, can create not only physical pleasure, but deep spiritual connections, transcendent experiences that nourish both body and soul. But these elevated experiences are only possible when you're not constantly draining your energy through compulsive masturbation. When you're always in automatic release mode, you never build up the energetic pressure needed for truly transformative sexual experiences. It's like trying to create a geyser when you're constantly opening tiny escape valves. The practice of retention also awakens something psychologists call libidinal energy transmutation, the redirection of sexual energy into other domains of life. Freud observed this phenomenon, although he interpreted it in a limited way. The truth is, the same energy that creates physical life can create intellectual, artistic, entrepreneurial, and spiritual life. When you stop wasting this energy, it naturally seeks other creative expressions. Many men report bursts of artistic creativity when they begin practicing retention. Others discover a renewed passion for their businesses or careers. Some find motivation for personal projects they'd abandoned for years. The energy that was being dissipated in empty orgasms transforms into fuel for meaningful achievements. And there's an even deeper dimension. Semen retention can awaken perceptive capacities that our rationalistic culture has lost. Many practitioners develop sharper intuitions, amplified energetic sensitivities, abilities to read people and situations that transcend the five basic senses. It's as if the conservation of vital energy opens channels of perception that remain closed when we're constantly leaking our strength through compulsive releases. This isn't cheap mysticism, it's a reality that any man can experience if he has the necessary discipline. Your sexual energy is literally your condensed life force. When you consciously conserve it, you're accumulating not just seminal fluids, but life potency, pure creativity, manifesting power. Think of the men you most admire, historical leaders, genius artists, visionary entrepreneurs, exceptional athletes. Many of them, consciously or unconsciously, practiced some form of sexual conservation. They intuitively understood that their energy was too precious to be wasted on fleeting pleasures. But our modern culture teaches us the exact opposite. We're bombarded with messages that normalize and even encourage frequent masturbation. It's healthy, they say. It's natural, they claim. Everyone does it, they justify. But these messages come from a society that has a vested interest in keeping men weak, distracted, dependent on external pleasures for validation and relief. A man who has discovered the power of retention cannot be easily manipulated by consumer advertising, doesn't constantly need external entertainment, doesn't desperately seek approval through social media or superficial relationships. He becomes self-contained, self-sufficient, dangerously independent, and that scares systems that depend on needy and insecure men to function. The journey of retention is therefore an act of silent rebellion against a culture that wants you weak. It's a refusal to participate in the collective emasculation that transforms potential warriors into passive consumers. It's a declaration that you choose to be extraordinary in an age that celebrates mediocrity. But this journey isn't easy. In the first days and weeks, you'll face resistance, not just physical, but psychological and even spiritual. Your mind, accustomed to easy escapes, will try to convince you that you're being extreme, that a little relief won't hurt. You may experience irritability, restlessness, intense dreams, even what some call a flatline, a temporary period where your libido seems to disappear completely. These are normal phases of recalibration. Your body and mind are adjusting to a new energetic paradigm. It's like an athlete changing training regimens. There's an adaptation period before the benefits fully manifest. The key is to persevere wisely, allowing the natural processes of rebalancing to occur without panic or premature abandonment of the practice. And here we arrive at the climax of this revelation, at the heart of what separates ordinary men from extraordinary men. The true power of retention lies not just in the conservation of energy, but in the conscious integration of that energy with a higher purpose. When you combine the discipline of retention with a clear vision of your goals, with practices of self-improvement, with unwavering commitment to your highest values, you become an unstoppable force. You were born to be powerful. Retention doesn't create this power, it simply removes the obstacles preventing its natural expression. The warrior has always been there, inside you, waiting for you to stop draining the strength he needs to awaken and conquer the world. The time is now. The journey begins with a single decision, and that decision has the power to change not only how you feel, but how the world responds to you, how women perceive you, how other men respect you, how you see yourself in the mirror. Awaken the power, awaken the warrior, awaken the man you truly are.